Hello friends, how are you doing? It's been a while since I recorded a video, so I'm feeling a little bit nervous, but I keep putting it off, so I just wanted to come on here and say hi and give you a little update on life. I know that I was vlogging a lot about writing my one-woman play, my journey from being a doctor to an actress, and my goodness, it is June. We're in June already in 2025, and a lot has happened, so I thought I'd sit down and give you an update. If you can hear the washing machine in the background, I apologize. I just didn't want to put things off. And honestly, like, life has been life has been a lot. There've been lots of blessings, but there've also been lots of there's been a lot of difficult things as well. And so today I've really been trying to just sort my life out in terms of doing laundry, tidying my room. My room is an absolute state, and just kind of showing myself some self-love by sorting out all of these things that I need, even on a small level, you know? I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, I think sometimes if you're feeling rubbish, you actually just have to get up and shower and do your hair and do your makeup and and show yourself love like that. It's not always getting your nails done. Sometimes it's doing your taxes or doing the things that you've been putting off for ages. And so that's where I'm at, and that's why I have not paused the washing machine for this video like I usually would. So hi, I'm Sara. For those who are new here, I am an actress, a writer, producer as well. So I did produce my own show, and I share bits of my life here on YouTube. And let's do an update. Let's do an update of what's been going on. So now, at this moment, I'm in rehearsals for Nye, which is an amazing play at the National Theatre that has come back for its second run this summer. So I'm super excited to be back in rehearsals. I definitely forgot how tiring it was and how demanding the work is, to be honest, for this play. It's very physically demanding. And so this has been the first full week back in rehearsals for me. And you know, when you get home and you're just so tired, but then there's also been lots of other things that I've needed to do and to focus on and give my time and attention to. So this week has been really tiring, but also really good, because I feel really blessed and grateful to be back in the room working with just an amazing team, brilliant team of actors, directors, stage managers, all of it. So I'm really grateful for that. But that is all on the back of my one-woman play, Shmedic, that debuted. We did our first ever 2 performances of it almost 2 weeks ago now, 2 weeks ago. And when I tell you, that was truly one of the hardest things I've ever done. I'm gonna make a whole nother video about Shmedic separate to this one, because there's so many different bits that I would love to share with you guys. How I wrote the play, how I put it on, producing, co-directing, all of that, working with an amazing team, finding an amazing team to work with, all of the things that I'm really grateful to have experienced with Shmedic. And yeah, it happened and it went really well. It went so well, and I'm so grateful. It went better than I imagined, actually. I think I was so focused on delivering a story and delivering a performance, and not even just a performance, bringing people into the world of Shmedic and telling this story that I deeply, deeply, passionately believe needs to be told. I wanted the people who bought tickets to have a good experience. I didn't want them to feel like they'd wasted their money. Wanted to raise a lot of money for my friend who has got into Juilliard School. Also wanted to raise a lot of money for the college arts program. So that's the acting school that we were also raising money for. Not just an acting school, it's like a creative place for people. Yeah. So I was focused on all of these goals, and getting the soundscape right. So I did sound design for the first time. There were 230 something cues in the show, learning my lines, acting, getting costume, set design, all of that stuff. I wanted to go well, and it was all a lot. It was really hard. I wasn't sleeping much leading up to it. I was so grateful though, and I was supported by my amazing director, Antoinette Jackman, who was just went above and beyond. My amazing sound technician, Alessandro, my producer, Della, and yeah, just a wonderful team. Emma, just so many people coming together to help and to support, and you'll see all their names and details on the actual website, on the Shmedic website. And I was so focused on this world of Shmedic, this first performance, that I was only focused on what I had to give. Does that make sense? I was just focused on, okay, I need to send this to my sound technician. I need to learn these lines for my director. I need to do this. I need to do it. I need to do that. That I completely did not pause to think of how much the audience would give me, how much you guys would give me back from my sharing of that play. It hadn't actually crossed my mind how much I would receive back. Like, yeah, people just came together. I think we had maybe about, it's either 57 or 60 tickets we sold for the first night. And we did a Q&A afterwards, and there were people I knew, of course, family, friends, but there were also people, you know, some of you guys who've been following me here on YouTube in the audience. I'm going to try not to cry. And people who had heard about the show on TikTok and wanted to support me. And I had not fully prepared myself for how deeply that would move me. Like I was a mess at the end of the show. Because it just meant so much to me, you know, for people to believe in you so much that they spend like £10, even some people donated more, but to spend your hard-earned money on a ticket for a show that I've written, yeah, that meant so much to me. And then on the Saturday, we sold out, you guys. We sold out. And I'm so deeply grateful to God. And again, we did this Q&A at the end of it because I wanted, so what happened was we did the show and then we did a question and answer at the end of the show to hear people's thoughts and their experiences of the show. I wanted to do this from a development point of view. I wanted to know what people understood from it, right? Because if I tell you a story, you can have a million different takeaways from that story. So I wanted to know, okay, in the thing that we've got here, how is it affecting people so that I can go back to the drawing board and maybe rewrite some things to refine it. Because I'm like, okay, people were understanding that, but what I was trying to say was this. That was why I wanted the Q&A. It was so that, again, I could go away and learn and do better. The whole point for me of the Q&A was so that, again, I can give more. Now, the Q&A was something that my director suggested. Antoinette was wonderful. She said, do you want to do a Q&A after this? We've got everyone in the room. You know, it's the first time we're doing the show. Why, you know, let's get them to ask questions and give their feedback. And I was like, yeah, of course, I would love that. And so then after the show, I had 5 minutes to kind of breathe and came back into the room to an applause. And then as we sat down, and I was expecting people to like critically analyze the play, which was probably quite naive of me in hindsight. Of course, if you've come to someone's play, critiquing them to their face is, you know, not a space where everyone is comfortable doing that. And don't get me wrong, we did get some thoughts of, oh, I'd love to see this, or I wonder about this, and that was so welcome. That's what I thought I needed and what I wanted, right? I wanted not ideas, but I wanted to hear more about what was going on in people's head as they were experiencing the show. But what I came out to was like a room full of like love and like people saying how much they loved it and how much it moved them. And I was not ready for that at all, like at all. And it reminded me of that saying, I know, and bear in mind, I'm talking about the Thursday night now. So this is the first show we've done to a room of 60 people. And this experience of receiving all this positive feedback to something I'd worked really hard on, it reminded me of that saying. I mean, I heard the saying on Coach Carter. I know that's not its origin, but the one that goes, I'll put it on the screen somewhere probably, or in the caption of this video, description of this video. The one that goes, our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate. It is that we are capable beyond belief. And it was funny because I put in all this hard work and I'd been so worried about whether or not this play would be good enough, so focused on me needing to do more and change it, And then suddenly I was in this space where we had done it. We had done the show. I'd gotten through it. I told the story and people were saying they loved it. And I almost could not receive that goodness. I almost couldn't take it. I was like, no, you can't possibly love it. It was, I don't know how to explain it. It was a lot, and it was a lot in a good way, but in a way that I don't think I've had much experience coping with. If coping is the word to use, I don't think coping is the word to use. And you know what, I use the internet kind of as like a mini diary. Of course, the super deep stuff that affects my loved ones, I'm not going to post on the internet, I'm not going to post my loved ones' business. But in terms of me and my work and what I believe I'm called to in this life, or what I even just want to explore in this life, you know, it doesn't have to be some big calling, but just the life that I feel blessed and called to live, I want to share that here. So I suppose I'm sharing this first experience of pouring so much of myself into a show. I'm receiving so much from the audience. I was not prepared for people to give me so much. The amount of encouragement and love that I received from people was like, I'm so grateful. It's all a good thing, but it was like, whoa, how do I exist in this moment of receiving that much kindness? To the point where after the Thursday, I actually said to my director, I was like, I don't know if I can handle doing a Q&A on the Saturday, you know, maybe if we just get people to write their feedback, they'll be more critical. And we did, we got people to write feedback on both nights. And that was still really good feedback. And I had to, on the Friday, I kept kind of like looking at my boyfriend saying like, I think it was good, wasn't it, babe? And he's like, yes, it was. I'm like, and I kind of couldn't believe it, to the point where I didn't allow myself to think about it actually for the Friday, because I was like, we still got another show to go, and I don't want to get complacent. So I carried on working on, you know, all of the bits that we had been working on to make it even better for the Saturday. And then the Saturday went well, and we did do another Q&A, because I was like, I can't let my own feelings of disbelief or inadequacy stop me from receiving the feedback that people have to give, because actually, in and amongst the wonderful compliments, which was also feedback, you know, compliments are also feedback, but in and amongst that, there were really interesting viewpoints that I hadn't heard before that I needed to hear. And so what ended up happening was we did the Q&A, I stayed chatting with everyone for ages. I met so many just like incredible, inspiring people. It was like the lights came up at the end of the show, and I look around and there's this community of amazing people who have come out to see a show I've written. Like, I don't know how to like, it was like 80 something people had come out, traveled out. You know, the theatre wasn't that central. It was a little up north. And wow, just so many awesome people. I'm just so grateful. Thank you, by the way, if you came to see the show. You truly changed me. Like, I don't know how to put it into words. Maybe I'll have to think about it and write it down of how I really feel. I've not been journaling for the last couple of months as well, because I've allowed myself to become so busy and prioritize other things. But maybe once I've journaled how I'm feeling, I will be able to articulate it a bit better. But just wow, so deeply grateful. And so then it was, life then just changed. I had some stuff going on that I had to deal with. I was back in rehearsals for Nye. And so in the back of I kind of clicked pause on Shmedic for a little bit. And I wasn't able to kind of run off the back of the performances like I really wanted to. I wanted to email everyone who came to the show. I still haven't done that because there's just been so much going on. But I wanted to do all these different things, but I had to kind of place it on pause so that I could focus on other more urgent things that came up. And as I was doing that, I was kind of slowly processing how the show had gone and different experiences I had, you know, with the NHS, with healthcare, with my work since the show over the last 2 weeks. And reflecting on everyone's comments about the show made me realize that the show is more than me. The show is more, the play, Shmedic, is more than me. It's not about me. A really lovely woman came up to me after the show and said, "You wrote my life? How did you know those things had happened to me?" And I was like, I say I wanted to hug her. I did hug her. There was just so much. There was so much in that conversation. There was so much that I got from that conversation. And so I suppose what I'm saying is I had this focus on me regarding Shmedic, and I don't think it was in a vain way. I think it was in a in a good way, in terms of I want to do well, I want to write well, I want to give people their money's worth, I want to act well, I want to tell this story that I believe in. And then I gave that story, sorry, I just pressed the mic. I gave that story to the audience, and they gave it back to me with so much more than I had given them. Does that make sense? They gave it back to me with bits of themselves and who they are and what they've experienced and what they've been through. And so now I feel even more weight about Shmedic, I suppose. I feel even more joy about it, even more passion, even more drive, because I'm like, oh, it's more than me. It's not just me. You know, there were bits where I was writing and I was a little bit embarrassed. I was like, oh, can I put this on stage? Can I say this? Because it's semi-autobiographical. It's not a biographical story. I don't have a younger brother called Chuck, or didn't, you know, I've never had a younger brother. But it is in some places, you know, some of the hospital scenes and stuff, those things did happen. It is semi-autobiographical. And so putting that on a big stage, and even as I say that, I want to clarify which scenes happened and which ones didn't, because you know, there's this fear of judgment, but I won't go down that road. But I was really nervous about putting stuff out there, so to have received it back with so much kindness and love is just awesome. So that has been kind of going on in the back of my head as I've been doing all these other things. I'm very much focused on all these other aspects of my life. Yeah, I said I wouldn't spend this video talking about Shmedic, and I spent a large part of this video talking about Shmedic. But apart from that, I am doing well. I did my hair the other day. I dyed it blackety black, which I absolutely love. Ugh, it's all I want right now. All I want, kind of, not really. What else is going on in my life? Still dating my wonderful boyfriend who helped so much with Shmedic. I'm so grateful for. Yeah, lots of good things and lots of things to be grateful for, while also navigating the more difficult aspects of life that, you know, I don't put people's business on the internet apart from my own, so I won't go into detail on those. But yeah, things have been a lot. And I think right now I'm in an interesting space of like loving my work and getting things done as they need to get done, of like, okay, I'm not going to drop the ball, or I'm going to try really hard not to drop the ball. I still want to show up with excellence. I still want to work smart. I still want to do things with drive and passion, and recognizing that in order for me to do what I believe I'm called to do, I also need to sleep. I also need to do my laundry. I also need to cook healthy food, you know? That's actually quite a big priority. I feel better, I'm more capable, more focused when I've had a good healthy meal rather than grabbing a snack bar, you know? So, is this a good life update? I'm okay, guys. I really think I am. I hope this wasn't too like sad or concerning or depressing. I don't know. Sometimes, right, I think, I don't know if I'm allowed to post this on the internet, and then I just do anyway, and then the world doesn't quite end, and so I think, well, I guess I'm allowed to post that on the internet, so it's probably what I'm going to do with this video. Please leave any questions in the description box of this video. I did a Q&A on my Instagram. If you're not on Instagram, please join me there, but I did a Q&A box on there for people to send me questions. So leave in the comments of this video any questions you have about all things Shmedic, and I'll make a video addressing all questions about Shmedic, and then probably even another video just telling you the story of how I wrote it and put it together, because I know that for me, so much of what I did, I learned from other people. It was me messaging my friend like, hey Hall, how did you do this? Help, and her being like, hey, I did this, you know? And we're internet friends. I do not believe in gatekeeping or in increasing the struggle or increasing the distance from the thing that people want, right? Getting into acting, for example. I want to help people get into acting. I want to encourage people and share what I've learned. I'm not saying that I'm the beacon of all knowledge, but I am learning things and I want to keep sharing them as I go along. So yeah, any questions you have about the process, getting a theatre, budget, putting things on, like just let me know in the comments and I will answer them in my next video. Because all of these things I've definitely learned can be super confusing and quite hard to figure out. So if you are not linked in with people, I can pass on the knowledge that I've received and the new things I've learned as I've gone through the process, things I've learned about writing, shaping stories, plot, beats, yeah, all of it. It's been an absolute joy. I love it, love it, love it so much. And I'm so deeply grateful. And I really hope, my prayer is that I can put this on properly, that it will get commissioned somewhere, that we can do Shmedic and do it well and bring it to audiences with a level of excellence and just really tell this story, because I think it's a good one. And I'm going to allow myself to say that and to, you know, yeah, to know that actually, yeah, it was a good one by God's grace. So thank you so much for watching this video. It's been a life update, has it? Or has it been a rant? I don't even know, but thank you for watching. I will see you in my next video. My boyfriend said these look like pajamas. It is like a one piece. It is not pajamas. I personally think, I don't know, I think it's fashion. I think it's fashion. Okay, I'll see you in my next video. Love you so much. Bye.